Today we're adjusting the door lock assembly on a Dexter WCN series. Whether you're replacing the door lock solenoid because it's making a lot of noise or swapping out burned out wax motors, the easiest thing to do is to just take the complete door lock assembly right out of the machine. The easiest way to do that is here you've got two nuts. You'll need an 11/32 socket. Both of these have to come out, and there's one underneath here. That one you can just loosen and leave in place. Once you have those out and all the wiring off, you can disconnect what looks like a piece of coat hanger from the bottom of the solenoid and take the whole assembly out. It's easy enough to replace the solenoid. It's just 4 5/16 bolts there, and with the wax motors it's just 2 Phillips screws, easy enough to change. Once you're done with that and you put it back in the machine, you have to pretty much recalibrate everything. By leaving these loose up here, you're able to slide the whole mechanism up and down. What you're going for initially is when you lift up the bottom of the solenoid, you want this part of the latch to close the switch, but you want it to stay on the curved part there on the slope. You don't want it to go all the way down to the flat side. If you go too far, they tend to either bind up, or this piece here will cock at an angle and it won't register as locked. So first thing, set the height up here on the main bracket so that when you lift up on the solenoid, it stops just on the slope there with the switch depressed. You can also loosen these two here and pivot this switch back and forth if you need to bring it in closer to this piece or further away. There's also adjustments on this switch here. You can loosen these and pivot it back and forth the same way. When the door is shut and latched, you need this piece here to close this switch. This bar here, you can adjust the tension on it because the solenoid pulls it up very fast, and it'll tend to actually bounce this bar up a little bit higher than when you pull it up manually yourself. So after you've got everything adjusted, you're going to want to power the machine and try it. Start it. If it goes too far, you can always adjust the tension here. Like if it's bouncing too high, you're going to want to tighten this and increase the spring tension. The only thing you're going to have to check, if you go too high with the tension here, even when this is released, you won't be able to open the door. Like as this tightens up, it'll slowly push the bar that way, and it won't clear the door when you try to open it. But take your time, be patient, adjust it here first, up at the height of the bracket. If you have to, adjust it here, and then adjust your switches as needed. And once you have it all set and you've powered it, I'd start the machine, make sure that it pulls it up and keeps it latched to start the cycle. And then with all the panels off, just use your hand to pull it back down and open the door. Shut it again, make sure it lines up. I'd go for at least 10 to 15 starts in a row without it binding before you call the machine done. But here we have all the part numbers. And if you're really having a difficult time getting everything calibrated on your machine, you could just order a complete latch assembly and a complete solenoid assembly, and then the only thing you'll have to do when you put this in your machine is adjust the height on it. That's it.